Welcome everyone. Today I would like you to have both a yoga block and a yoga strap. If you don't have those two props, you can have any kind of belt and maybe a book, that will do. So we'll start in a child pose, dropping the head down to the mat. You can move your body a little side to side to ease yourself into the position. Dropping the head down to the mat. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can place the block under your head. Take a moment there, just a couple of deep breaths. Draw the breath to the back of your body. Let the hips move back towards your heels. And then we're lifting up into an all-fours position, starting with a gentle kind of cat stretch here, arching the back. Exhale, rounding the back. You push into the hands, draw the chin into your top. On the inhale, you arch the back. If you have any back problems here, you might just go into neutral and then rounded back. So you always do what feels comfortable for you, especially if you're a complete beginner, just go gently. Do that twice more, rounding the back, warming up around your spine. Inhaling, arching, looking up. Exhale, rounding, looking in. You push into your hands and activate your stomach muscles. From there, a neutral back, walking your hands forward into our first plank position. For plank, you don't want to lift the hips at all. You want to lower them down. So it's one long diagonal line from your knees to the back of your head. From there, we lower down to the mat. You want to move the shoulders forward a little bit. And then we lower down with the elbows up 90 degrees and then relax down on the mat. And then we're going to lift into cobra position. The hands are still lower than your shoulders, elbows held high. Inhale, lifting, and exhaling down. So you want this to be a continuous movement rather than jerky movement. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling down. I keep the lower part of my stomach, navel and down on the mat. So I'm just lifting the upper body up and down. Twice more. Lifting up, in breath, shoulder blades tight, elbows drawing in, and down. One more. Inhaling up, and exhale down. Pushing into your hands, you're coming back up into an all-fours position. From there, going to stretch your right foot forward between the hands. So you might come up onto your fingertips, right foot forward, and shift the weight forward. So the whole pelvis is moving forward. Again, a diagonal line between the back knee and the front knee. Here you can use a block under the left hand to create a twist in your upper body. Reaching high with the fingertips, circle back and around. Inhale. Round. Reach in all directions with the hand. Here, next one, we'll hold the hand up above your head. If it comes easy, you don't need the block. You can hold the hand on the back. And back down to the floor. And coming back up into an all-fours position. Same thing on the other side. Left foot shifting forward. Check that your pelvis is moving forward. Right hand either to the mat or to the block. Inhaling up. Exhale around. Next one, we'll hold the hand above your head. Again, you can try wiggle without the block, whichever one suits you best. You want to feel the stretch along the front of the right thigh. Position and a twist in your back. Both hands down to the mat. This time in plank, you can either choose to have your knees down. I often keep my knees down. If you're not so strong around your shoulders, of course, choose that one again. Otherwise, you can try with straight legs, draw your belly in, shoulders wide, and then lower down to the mat. Lower down, elbows here, 90 degrees, and then all the way down to the mat. This time we lift up onto your elbows in a Sphinx pose. Pause for a second here. Shoulders above your elbows, hands pressing into the mat. If you feel this pinching around the lower back, then just widen the elbows a little bit so that the arch of the back is not so sharp. You're looking forward, nose is pointing forward. You can close your eyes if you want to. You can gently press the chest forward and rolling the shoulders back. And then lower down to the mat, hands by your shoulders, pushing yourself back up into an all-fours position. Now tucking the toes under and lifting straight up into downward facing dog. Here you want the shape to look like a pyramid or a triangle with the hips lifting high and the back and the legs straight. I tend to walk on the spot for the first one, just to stretch out around your ankles, the soles of your feet, and also if your calf muscles are tight, that might feel like quite a strong stretch. From there, walking your feet forward. I tend to have the legs bent in my beginners classes, holding onto the elbows and dropping the head down. So that way, it won't be too strong for your hamstrings, you won't feel it at the back of the knees, but you still get that length in the lower back. As you get more comfortable, you might gradually straighten the legs out a little bit more each time. Then dropping the hands to the mat, keep the bend in the knees and lifting all the way up to standing. Roll your shoulders back and come into Tadasana, your mountain position, hands by your sides. I'm going to do 2 sun salutations together. The first one, easier option, and the second one, a full inhale, reach the hands up above your head. Exhale, fold forward. Easier options is hands to the shins. Inhale, lift your gaze. Walking back into plank pose. So the first one, I do with knees down. You can have straight legs if you want to. Look down to the mat slowly. First one, we just do it all the way down to the mat. Smaller arch of the back, cobra, like we did in the warm-up. Knees to the mat. Tuck your toes under and lifting up into downward facing dog. Again, you can walk on the spot here. So I tend to look down between the toes, little space between the feet. Check that you're widening your fingers, stretching them out. And then from there, walking your feet forward, a couple of steps forward. As they reach the hands, you lift in breath. Exhale, fold tight over the legs, possibly with a bend in the knees. Inhaling, hands up above your head, reaching up. Exhaling down. So you can repeat that again, or you can do the full sun salute. Inhale, hands up above your head. Exhale, fold forward, hands down to the mat. Inhale, looking up. Jumping back into plank position. Lower down, not all the way down. You're sliding through into an upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. So you see there that you can repeat that first option for the first couple of weeks, first couple of months. And as you gain strength, then it's time to do the full sun salutation. Always, I recommend patience if you're new to yoga. And then from there, you'll bend in the knees, jumping forward, lift your head, folding over the legs, hands up above your head, reaching up. Exhaling down, hands in front of your heart, elbows wide. Sit down in chair pose. So here you can have quite a deep bend in the knees. Leaning slightly forward, lower back flat. Step back with the right foot from Warrior One position. Warrior One, the front leg is bent, the chest and nose is pointing forward, back toe turned out 45 degrees. Stepping back forward, back in chair pose, sitting deep. Stepping back with your left foot, holding your Warrior One, looking forward, upper arms close to your ears. If you're ever out of breath, you can hold the hands on the hips instead. Stepping back forward into chair pose. And lifting up. We'll do one balance before we're sitting down. Let's do our tree pose. Easier tree pose is foot on the ankle. As balance gets easier, you can place a foot on the inner thigh, hands in front of your heart, and then reaching up above your head. So you press the foot into the thigh against the foot, and trying to find a straight line through your whole body all the way up into your fingertips. And coming back down, same thing on the other side. Choosing where you want to place the foot. And then back down, well done. From there, we're going to sit down on the mat. Some of you will want to use the belt for the next position. So let's do exactly what we did in the tree pose, but now sitting down. Foot to the inner thigh. The other leg is straight in front of you, so you check hip, knee, and foot on a straight line. Then grab hold of your belt. Place the belt around your instep. Pull gently on your belt here, and then slowly reaching forward. So if you're quite tight in the hamstring here, you might want to place a pillow or rolled up towel or something under the knee, so it doesn't pull under the back of the knee. And again, here, patience rather than trying to push yourself too hard. You try to move in a graceful, soft approach, holding it. If it's easy, you hold on to the outside of the foot and dropping the head down. Lifting up, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Place the foot to the inner thigh, sitting upright, Then if you need the belt, you place it around the foot, otherwise just holding the outside of the foot and leaning forward. So in this short sequence, we've done some dynamic movement. We've stretched both into the front and the back of the thighs, quads, hamstring, and your hip flexor. Worked on a little bit of core strength, lifting up, and then we're going to come down to the mat. So with bent legs, lying down to do a bridge pose. So you just place your body down on the mat with bent legs, palms facing down into the mat, close to your hips. Checking that you're looking up to the ceiling, slowly lifting up, in breath, and exhaling back down. Keep the feet parallel, toes and both big toes and little toes pressing into the ground, lifting up and down. You can think about the tailbone lifting first, lower back, middle back, all the way up onto your shoulders and back down. Next time as we're lifting up, we're holding it. Hold for 5 breaths here. So you can press the hands into the mat, or if that gets easier, you might want to intertwine the fingers, wriggling the shoulder blades a little close, and puffing your chest up and holding it. And then hands down to the sides, coming back out to the pose. From there, we're going to use the belt. So I don't usually recommend doing either shoulder stands or headstands for the first couple of weeks or months that you practice yoga. So a good alternative could be to have a belt around the feet and just stretching the feet up above your hips, holding one strap in each hand, flexing the feet, and then looking up again, holding for 10 breaths. So once you practice that for a couple of weeks, you might want to work with the trained yoga teacher and start doing your shoulder stand. But I wouldn't do it on your own the first few times. Another variation would be to use the block. You see it's not on my lower back, it's under my pelvis, stretching one foot up and then the other foot. So these are 2 practices that will lead you towards a shoulder stand with time. From there, feet down, take the block or the belt to the side and hug both knees into your chest. And then we're just lying down for a short relaxation. You can always stop the video if you want to stay a little longer in your relaxation. You can have bent legs, especially if you feel your lower back, that might be a more comfortable option. Otherwise, stretching arms and legs out on the mat. Close your eyelids. I'm going to sit up when I talk you through the relaxation, but you staying on the mat. Take a deep full in breath and exhale through your mouth. And again, deep full in breath and exhale, relax. So here you can count the breaths, counting 1 on the in breath and counting 2 on the out breath. Just counting yourself all the way 1 to 10 and then starting again from 1. It's just to give your mind something to focus on until the relaxation feels comfortable for you. Your mind wanders, you draw it back to the counting. And allow every muscle in your body to relax. So if you want to stay for longer in your relaxation, please feel free to stop the video here and take another 5 minutes. Otherwise, now just give yourself a moment to notice how this feels. Your hands and feet relaxed, your head heavy. And then from there, deepen your in-breaths. So by focusing more on your in-breaths, you'll start to energize the body again. And then hugging one knee into your chest, and then the other just curling up into a little ball. And then lifting yourself back up to sitting. We'll finish a class in an easy cross-leg position, crossing the legs in front of you and resting the back of the hands on your knees. And then straighten your back, straighten your neck, close your eyelids, and just hold it still for a moment. In this calm and relaxed feeling in your body. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hopefully that's a sequence that you can repeat a couple of times a week until that feels really comfortable. Then you can start adding more asanas, more of the positions onto that. I have a few more videos that you can join. Good luck, and I hope you enjoy the yoga.